The Planning Commission meeting of Monday, June 9th, 2025 is called to order. It is 6:30 PM. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you like to lead us, please?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Secretary Damian Sanchez, can you please call the roll?
Yes, sir. Vice Chair Kratman?
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Lee?
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner McMorris? Absent. And then Commissioner Carney?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, tonight's meeting is live streamed on cable channel 3 and our online platforms. To prevent any overlaps in comments, each commissioner will be called upon to speak. And Sam, could you lead us away, please?
Yes, thank you, Vice Chair and members of the Planning Commission. Regarding the agenda order this evening, staff would like to recommend two changes. First being for agenda items 3 and 4. According to the city's codes, members of the Planning Commission are to select one of the appointive members of the commission to serve as a chairperson for a term of 1 year. And historically, this item has been agendized at the June meeting following the ending of terms on May 31st and commissioner interviews and appointments. Seeing that not all the commissioners are present this evening, staff is recommending that, again, item 3 and 4 for selection of chair and vice chair be moved to the next regularly scheduled meeting on July 14th. And that is the first recommendation. And the second recommendation is to move item 6, which is comments from staff, ahead of public comments, which is item 1, so that staff can provide the commission with an additional update. So if that's okay with the commission, then staff will proceed with comments.
Do you need a motion for that, or?
Just the consensus to amend the agenda as recommended by
Okay.
staff.
Okay,
I agree that we should amend the agenda.
I agree.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Vice Chair. So as the commission may have noticed on the agenda, there is currently a vacancy on the commission. And it is with a heavy heart to share that Jerry Schwartz, which is the chair of the Planning Commission, passed away a little bit over a week ago. Jerry served on the Planning Commission for the past 8 years, from June 2017 to April of this year. And excuse me, it'll take me a little bit of time. Jerry devoted his life and time to public servant. He was community and family oriented. Jerry started his career as a project manager in the city of Pomona from the mid-'80s to 1990. And then he became a redevelopment project manager from 1990 to 2008 at the city of Monterey Park. And it was during this time that Jerry and I were colleagues, so for about those 7 years. Jerry then moved on to become economic development manager in the city of Arcadia from 2008 and 2014, and retired from Arcadia in 2014. Jerry was also very involved in the San Gabriel Unified School District as a parent volunteer, first at Washington Elementary, then Jefferson Middle School, and then Gabrielino High School. And his wife, Karen, is a longtime educator in the Alhambra School District. During my early years as a planner, Jerry would come to chat with me about redevelopment and housing. And when he moved on to Arcadia, he stopped by my office on his last day to encourage me to continue to pursue my interests and to always aim high. I'm glad to have worked with Jerry for a second time for the past 5 years. And anyone who knows Jerry likely has fond memories of him as a thoughtful and giving person. And our hearts and thoughts are with his family. So thank you.
Thank you, Sam. That was a beautiful tribute.
Yeah, thank you very much. As one of Jerry's longtime friends, yeah, thank you very much.
Jerry was very wise, and I really came to rely on that wisdom in this group, and he will be sorely missed. So, and I can see why you loved him so much. We can take a moment of silence. Yes, please. She needs it more than I do here. Okay. Now's the time for public comment. This is the time set aside for members of the public to address the Planning Commission on items of interest that are not on the agenda, but are within the subject matter and jurisdiction of the Planning Commission. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the Planning Commission cannot answer any questions or take any action until such time as the matter may appear as an item on the future agenda. If you wish to address the Planning Commission, please fill out a speaker card that is available on the back table. Once completed, kindly submit the card to the recording secretary. Speakers will be called to the podium one by one. Each speaker will be given up to 3 minutes to speak. Secretary Sanchez, are there any public comment cards?
No public comment at this time, sir.
Would anybody in the public like to bring up any issues? No? Okay, then we will close the public comment section. Next is the consent calendar. All items listed on the consent calendar are considered routine, and recommendations will be approved in one motion unless a member of the Planning Commission or audience requests a separate discussion. Would any commissioners like to pull any items for separate discussion? Okay, great. Moving on.
Do we need a motion on that? Okay, I'll move.
I second.
Any public comment?
Okay. Do we make a vote or no?
Yep.
Okay, can,
Okay. Vice Chair Kratman,
yes.
Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Carney,
Yes.
3 A's, motion passes.
Approval of the meeting minutes. Did everybody get a chance to look at the meeting minutes?
That was
We
it.
just-
We just,
Oh, that was it.
already approved,
Sorry.
yeah.
Okay.
we'll get there.
I got it.
Take a deep breath.
We'll get there.
All right. Okay. Just go step by step.
3 and 4 have been
Yes.
tabled till the next meeting. Number 5, public hearing.
Okay. Okay, Samantha, could you go over the public hearing procedures, please?
Yes. Thank you, Chair, members of the Planning Commission. Copies of tonight's agenda are available on the city's website. at www.sangabrielcity.com and also on the table that is by the entrance. If you wish to speak on an item this evening and are not the project applicant, please fill out a speaker card and submit it to the recording secretary, which is Damien this evening, and cards are also available on the back table. Please write down the item number that you would like to speak on, and speakers will be called up one by one to the podium during the public hearing portion of each item. And each speaker will be given up to 3 minutes to speak. There are 2 public hearing items this evening to be considered by the Planning Commission. And for each item, tonight staff will provide a brief summary of the staff report, followed by any clarifying questions from the commission. And prior to the close of the public hearing, the commission may ask additional questions of staff or the applicant. However, once the public hearing is closed, the opportunity for public comment has ended. And once the public hearing portion is closed, the item will move into commission deliberation. And with that, chair staff is ready to present item 3A.
Proceed if I may. Chair, just a reminder to the commission, there are 3 of you. Resolutions need to be passed on a 3-0 vote. So
Okay.
the item that seeks approval in order to obtain it today has to have a unanimous vote.
Okay.
Thank you.
Actually, technically speaking, we should offer the opportunity to the applicants to continue denying them until there's a full planning commission, or at least everybody is present. So before we start, why don't we do that?
Your mic's
Ladies and-
not on.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, there are only 3 planning commissions today. There are 2 items on the agenda, both public hearings, as Ms. Tavasart advised everybody. You do need all 3 to vote affirmatively, to vote yes, in order for a project to be approved. Since there's only 3 of the 4 planning commissioners, if you would wish to continue your item to a next meeting, when there will be 4 planning commissioners, this is your opportunity to request that. If you don't request that, basically we'll move forward, and should a vote be 2-1, then that, or against you the other way, which is, it doesn't matter. But if a 2-1 vote in favor of the project is not move the project forward. Because you need 3 votes to adopt the resolution. Sure. No, this is a, yeah, this is the opportunity, so it's up to you. Again, are there both parties that have items before the commission here?
They are present, yes. I just want to confirm one thing is, so a 2-1 vote would be a denial still?
Right, because you need
Okay.
3 votes to
Got
pass
it.
the resolution.
Okay, I can confirm.
Yeah.
Did you understand? Yeah, it would need to be 3-0 for the project to be approved. If it's 2-1, it would be denied. So if you'd like, we can continue to the next meeting. Or we're anticipating that we'll have 4 commissioners.
So today we have 4.
We only have 3 today.
So to get all like of them to vote.
They would all have to vote in favor, otherwise it would be a denial.
So with 4 commissioners, 3-1 would be a pass.
3-1 will be passed. Yeah, so it's up to you. We can hear it tonight, or it can be continued to the next meeting.
就是今天他也没有办法，因为人员不够。他人不在，人不在。3个全部通。下次4个钟就要3个，但是不知道下次人在不在，没有知道。今天能吗？可以啊。可以，就是看你说你想要说。可以。对，会continue。
Today is okay? Okay. Both applicants have confirmed that they're okay with staying on tonight's
Thank you,
agenda.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, Vice Chair and members of the Planning Commission. The public hearing item before you tonight is for a conditional use permit to allow the off-site sale of beer, wine, and distilled spirits at an existing retail store located at 420 and 422 East Valley Boulevard, planning case number CUP 25-001. The retail store is located in a commercial building on the south side of East Valley Boulevard between Euclid Avenue and Walnut Street. The subject property is located in a commercial building on the south side of East Valley, the subject property is located in the mixed-use corridor zone of the Valley Boulevard specific plan area and has a general plan land use designation of commercial specific plan. The business occupies the entirety of the commercial building, measuring 4,375 square feet in size on a 6,534 square foot lot. Vehicular access to the site is by way of a public alley located at the rear, which can be accessed from Walnut Street and Euclid Avenue. No changes are proposed to the property or to the exterior of the building. The existing business, 7 Stars, is a retail store selling a variety of items, including household goods, grocery items, snacks, and non-alcoholic beverages. A business description has been provided as attachment B to this report. The hours of operation are Monday through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., which complies with the city regulations regarding alcohol beverage sales. The business is requesting a conditional use permit to sell beer, wine, and distilled spirits to supplement their current offerings. The CUP application, plans, and related materials were reviewed by the San Gabriel Police Department to ensure the safety and security of existing businesses, of the existing business, its patrons, the neighborhood, and the general public. The police department is requiring that the business comply with the following conditions of approval. The police department is requiring the installation of video surveillance system, that management shall immediately notify the police department of any crimes that occur inside the location or in any areas under the control of the management, or to any patrons of the location, or at the request of any patrons of the location. And that the police department shall seek a review, of any CUP and request reevaluation by the Planning Commission to add security measures for the best interest of public safety. The police department will continuously monitor for criminal activity, loitering, noise, and other nuisance complaints and violation of any conditions of approval. The general plan land use designation for the subject lot is commercial specific plan. This land use designation allows all uses permitted by the general commercial designation. Additionally, the proposed development meets the economic goals 4.1 and 4.2 of the City of San Gabriel General Plan. This project was reviewed for compliance with with the California Environmental Quality Act. The project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act per guidelines section 15301, class 1 for existing facilities. This item was noticed at the project site, advertised in the May 29, 2025 edition of the San Gabriel Sun, and a notice was sent to all property owners and tenants within a 300-foot radius. Tonight's agenda was also posted at City Hall, the Post Office, and the Public Library. With that, staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of San Gabriel, California, approving planning case number 25-001 for a conditional use permit at 420 and 422 East Valley Boulevard to allow for the off-site sale of beer, wine, and distilled spirits, subject to the recommended conditions of approval. That completes the presentation.
Thank you, Marlon. Commissioner Lee, do you have any questions for Marlon?
Just a quick inquiry. I think this time around, I don't see anything about the alcohol index or something like that. Do you happen to have that in your hand?
It was actually in the staff report. I briefly mentioned that a finding of public convenience and necessity is not required for this census tract, as this one is not over-concentrated with off-site licenses. The over-concentration threshold in this census tract is 2 off-site sale licenses. Currently, there's only 1, which is the Hawaii Supermarket.
Okay. And you mentioned about the operation of the business hours is from 10 to 7.
Monday through Sunday.
Monday through Sunday, okay. But this is a grocery store, right? So I just want to make sure the applicant is aware of that requirements.
That was actually part of their business plan. So those were their hours of operations that they suggested.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
George, do you have any questions?
No, I have no questions, Mr. Chairman.
And just to clarify, it's basically a grocery store that would like to now sell beer, wine, and liquor.
Yeah, they're currently operating as essentially a grocery store. They also sell other household items, electronic products, but they also sell packaged foods and non-alcoholic beverages and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Secretary Sanchez, are there any public comments?
No public comment at this time, sir.
Okay. Would the applicant like to come up and discuss their project, or? They don't have to.
I'm sorry?
They're not obligated to, so.
If you want to say anything on our behalf, it's fine. Okay. Nothing at this moment.
Okay. All right. Would anybody like to make a motion? Oh, this closes the public hearing? Thank you.
Okay, I'll move to approve.
Okay,
I second.
okay. Secretary Sanchez, can you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. I'll start with Commissioner Lee.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Carney,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kratman,
Yes.
3 ayes, motion passes.
Congratulations.
All right. The next item on the agenda is planning case number T-map 22010, tentative track map. The applicant is Eric Tsang at 905 to 909 South Charlotte Avenue. Presentation will be made by Associate Planner Marlon Cervantes. Okay, thank you, Marlene.
Thank you.
The floor is yours.
All right. Good evening, Vice Chair and members of the Planning Commission. The public hearing item before you tonight is for tentative track map 83923 to allow for the subdivision of 8 condominium units located at 905 and 909 South Charlotte Avenue, planning case number T-map 22-010. The project site is located at the west side of South Charlotte Avenue between East Grand Avenue to the north and East Mission Road to the south. Excuse me, I think that's backwards. The project site is comprised of 2 parcels, both of which are zoned R3 for multifamily residences. The subject property measures a total of 15,000 square feet and are currently developed with single-family residences on each lot. The subject properties are neighbored by R3 zone properties in all directions. And the proposed project is for the construction of 4 new buildings housing a total of 8 condominium units. Each of the 8 units will feature one of 2 predetermined floor plans, all of which will be 3 stories in height with private roof decks. Each of the 8 units will measure between 1,311 square feet and 1,861 square feet and have ground floor garages with capacity for 2 cars each. In addition to the garage spaces for residents, the development will provide 4 guest parking spaces. The proposed project has been reviewed for compliance with the San Gabriel Municipal Code development standards for the R3 zone and meets all of the requirements, including density, lot coverage, building height, setbacks, and open space. It also exceeds the requirement for guest parking spaces. The project is designed in a contemporary style of architecture, similar to other multifamily developments approved throughout San Gabriel. Staff and the city architect have reviewed the proposed design and have found it to be consistent with the city's residential design guidelines. The project and landscaping design will be considered by the Design Review Commission. Each of the 4 buildings will be clad in textured stucco painted in a variety of neutral colors. The building will also feature horizontal wood slats, vertical wood siding, and vertical sheet metal to serve as accent materials and provide visual articulation. Each of the units will have individual access to private rooftop decks, and each deck will feature guardrails made of aluminum glass. The proposed project will feature new landscaping incorporated throughout the property. The front yard area will incorporate 2 36-inch box white crepe myrtle trees, 2 24-inch box Chinese fringe trees, and a variety of shrubs and ground cover, including rosemary, flax lily, dwarf blue chalk sticks, and carapia. The remaining areas of the project site not occupied by driveways, walkways, and guest parking spaces will also be fully landscaped and include 6 36-inch box Saratoga Bay laurels, 4 36-inch box western redbud trees, and additional ground cover and shrubs. The side and rear yard area along the west and south property boundaries will feature new 5-foot wide planter areas to create a buffer between the adjacent properties. The private rooftop decks will also feature landscape planters and a Saratoga Bay laurel tree on each rooftop deck area. The general plan land use designation for the subject lot is high-density residential. This land use designation allows multifamily residential development in areas zoned R3. Additionally, the proposed development meets the housing goals 2.1 and 2.2, as well as community design goals 10.1 and 10.4 of the City of San Gabriel General Plan. This project was reviewed for compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act. The project is exempt from the requirements of CEQA per Guidelines Section 15332, Class 32 for infill development, as it meets all of these criteria, including that the project would not result in any significant effects relating to traffic, noise, air quality, and water quality. Technical studies evaluating the potential for each of those impacts were prepared by Kimley Horn. Based on the studies provided, the city and the associated consultants concluded that the proposed project meets the conditions for a Class 32 exemption. The item was noticed at the project site, advertised in the May 29, 2025 edition of the San Gabriel Sun, and a notice was sent to all property owners and tenants within a 300-foot radius. Tonight's agenda was also posted at City Hall, the post office, and the public library. The subdivision map app requires the City of San Gabriel to deny approval of a tentative map if it makes any of the required findings for denial. Based on the application, staff is unable to make any of the findings for denial. And with that, staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of San Gabriel approving planning case number TMAP 22-010 for tentative tract map number 83923 for a proposed 8-unit condominium at 905 and 909 South Charlotte Avenue, subject to the recommended conditions of approval. That concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you, Marlon. Well done. Commissioner Lee, do you have any questions for Marlon?
Yes. Quick inquiry again. Can you go back to the requirements for like two-story buildings? Yeah. I have just a clarifications for the front setback and rear setback. You have it at like R3 standard is 21 feet.
Yeah, 21 feet. It's so it's more of like a step back for each additional floor. Each floor shall be set back 3 additional feet.
Okay.
Yeah. So on the site plan, you'll see that there are lines denoting where those setbacks are for each floor, and the building itself.
Okay,
is
so
also
the
set back.
ground floor is 15 feet setback for the front, right?
Yeah.
And then each additional would be
Set back an additional
by
3
3
feet,
feet. Does it fulfill that requirement?
It does, yes.
Okay. The same goes for the rear. Can you just like, for the record, can you say like, does it meet the requirements?
It does meet those requirements, yes.
Okay. Just for the subdivisions of the parcel map, right? So since this one is a 2 parcel, combining into 1,
Yeah.
and how is that? Because it's going to be sold for individual units, right?
Right. The airspace within each condominium unit will be sold individually.
Okay, can you explain, like, how is that gonna work? Is it gonna be like 905-1, 905-2, or is it going to be like just 905-6 or 8?
The addressing is done by our Public Works Department. Unfortunately, I don't have their standards for how
Okay.
they typically do that. Because there are 4 different buildings, my understanding would be that each one would have its own address, and possibly each unit within each of those buildings will have maybe like a sub-address, like an A, B, C unit. But again, the addressing is done by our Public Works Department at the time of, I believe, permit issuance.
Okay, so usually it's like I can understand about 1 parcel and then subdivided into, in this case is like 4 units for one side and then 4 units for the other sides, right? I'm just trying to get a clarifications of how this one is gonna be done, right? And then has it been done in the city before?
I can't think of any specific projects, but I believe there have been projects proposed on multiple sites where the parcels have been consolidated and then condominium units have been created to be sold off independently. Essentially, this will function as one parcel with the common areas being maintained through a homeowners organization, or excuse me, homeowners association, and the units, the airspace within the units being owned and maintained by the owners of each unit.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I just want to make sure that the city is not liable for the future when individual units are sold, and then they kind of like complicate things because of this parcel subdivisions, right? As long as the city's okay with it, we already have a precedent, in the past.
This,
Yes, and what I would add, Commissioner Lee, is that covenants and restrictions are recorded to the property. So all of the conditions and the limitations, they will run with the unit. And each time a unit is sold, then those requirements would be given to the new property owner. So it's not just at the city level, it's recorded at the county, and then that is how all the regulations are carried forth.
Okay, okay. All right, I rest my case.
George, do you have any questions?
Actually, Commissioner Lee already asked the questions I had, so.
I have no questions either.
okay.
You have something?
No, I
was saying, okay. Okay, Secretary Sanchez, are there any public comments on this?
No public comment at this time. Is there
Okay.
anyone in the audience who would like to address public comment?
The applicant is here. If,
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Good evening, Vice Chair and member of the Planning Commission. My name is Eric Tsang. I'm the architect for this project. We have reviewed the recommended conditions of approval, and we accept all of the conditions. Myself and the owner is here tonight to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
You've been up here many times. You are San Gabriel's most popular architect.
Thank you.
I want to compliment you on your design. You've managed to cram a lot of open space into this project with a lot of trees and a lot of landscaping. I think it's going to be beautiful at the end. It's not
Yes.
really a question, it's more of a comment.
Yeah, we work with the city architect and city landscape architect, and we come up with a lot of ideas to make this project more successful, and it's working. So.
George, do you have any questions?
No, again, not at this point.
Yes?
Yes. Thank you again for bringing the more business to the San Gabriel. There's 115 conditions. Like, I guess you're okay with it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Just a curiosity, like the building style has a flat roof. Is it because of the your recommendations, or is it city requirements, or is it just?
For the most part, is to meet the open space requirement.
Okay.
Without the roof deck, will be short by a lot of from the required open space per the zoning code. So we kind of have to work with that to create a roof deck and choose a style that can go well with the roof deck idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounded like your recommendations to have to make it work.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I know, right? So like, so flat roof personally, right? Flat roofs tend to have more issues with compared to like slope roofs. So, and also like personally, like I would like to maintain the city planning as traditional, as and then less problematic design, right? I'm not saying this design is bad, right? I'm just saying it for the futures, right? So that less problematic meanings, like, for less maintenance for the future, whoever is gonna own the properties. And, you know, like, more traditional meanings, like, try to keep it more, the appearance to be, traditional way of like the slope roof and then the other, like, whatever we are trying to keep as a city planning, right? Like, the same style as it before. I know, but since this item is before us, right? And then a part of the planning, right? That's why I'm just making the comments.
The scope of the planning commission's
Uh-huh.
review is an approval of the, basically subdivision of how the parcel is divided. And design commission will deal with the aesthetics of the project.
Yes, what staff would add is, as mentioned, designer Tsang, architect Tsang, works on many projects within the city, and one item that staff and the city architect and city landscape architect works with architects, designers, and developers on is designing within the context of a street and a block. Architect Tsang has designed projects that are Spanish in style, that are mission in style. So just depending on the street that the project is located in, there's sensitivity given to that. In this particular case, I think the property is located closer to a commercial street, and it's veering towards more of that contemporary style. But typically, that is one item that staff works with the applicants on when designing the architectural styles to the building. But what is foremost important is meeting the development standard, which is what Commissioner Lee had initially asked about, the required number of parking spaces, the setback requirements that are absolute requirements of a project. And as shown on the slide, the project is designed within the standards.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out. But I feel that as a planning commissions, like, we don't have to forget about what the city plan is, right? So that is what I'm going at, right? So the city has a plan, right? So the plan that I feel is for the recommendation for the future projects, right? Trying to keep it a little bit more traditional, less problematic, less maintenance and stuff. Thank you.
Thank you for your suggestions. Yeah,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Okay, would anybody like to make any other comments or other deliberations? George?
Will we hear from the applicants themselves, or do we need,
That was the applicant right there.
that was the architect?
The architect, yes.
Okay, we're not, okay. that's
He's
fine.
representing the,
Okay, that's fine.
okay. Would anybody like to make a motion?
I will move to approve.
Okay. I will second.
All right, Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Carney,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kretman,
Yes.
3 ayes, motion passes.
Congratulations.
So now is the time for commissioner comments. Are there any general comments that any of the commissioners would like to make at this time? No? Okay. I will adjourn the meeting in memory of Chairperson Jerry Schwartz to the regular meeting of the Planning Commission on Monday, July 14th, 2025 at 6:30 PM at City Hall, 425 South Mission Drive, second floor, council chambers. Jerry will be sorely missed.